Welcome back to Houston Life. With the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo underway, one new documentary is highlighting Texas Hall of Fame barrel racer and cancer survivor Angela Ganter.
Yeah, it's called Outriding the Devil, and it follows her fight and inspiring comeback to the sport. Joining us now is the film's director, Raen LeVell, with more on the film's Texas premiere, which is happening this weekend. We're so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. And yep, the Texas premiere is happening tomorrow, River Oaks Theater. It's an 11 a.m. start, so people can come to the movie, then go to the rodeo, and we kind of go in old school with the matinee because, as you know, westerns were made for matinees.
We love that. We love an 11 a.m. showtime, Raen. Okay, so barrel racing, when we go to the rodeo, barrel racing is one of the most exciting events, right? And so just knowing a little bit about Angela, cancer survivor, barrel racer, naturally my ears perked up. But as a filmmaker, what was it about her story that really caught your attention?
I just thought it was an incredible story. I mean, it was just kind of by chance that I came across the story. I went to the Texas Rodeo Hall of Fame. I was on my way to meet a buddy of mine, Eric Nelson, who is in 1883. You know, folks will know him as Ennis in 1883. Eric and I were talking about another movie, and I saw Angela's story in the Texas Rodeo Hall of Fame on the way to meet Eric in Fort Worth. As soon as I got out of the museum, I made a couple of calls and I said, I got to know whether this lady's life story has either, you know, her rights have already been taken or what, and they hadn't. So I met her within, 48 hours or so, because I just thought this is the most amazing story that provides so much light and so much inspiration. And the reason she agreed to do the film in the first place was because she wanted to provide hope for other families and other patients who were going through cancer.
Wow.
To let them know that, she made it through a near decade-long fight, and that if she could do it, they can do it.
It's so inspiring, and what an incredible instinct for you to say, hey, we got to do this, and to jump on it that quickly. And fast forward to now, Sports Illustrated has called this an unbelievable true story. Rodeo's governing body is calling it one of Rodeo's great movies. I mean, how relieved are you that it's been this well received? I mean, this is a great story, but
Right.
You had the ability to tell it in a way that that it was resonating. How do you feel about that?
I don't think as a filmmaker or any artist, you go into it being too concerned, about, what critics may say about it. I think you go into it with your heart and soul, and with that authenticity and sincerity to tell the story. And I think, we managed to achieve that in the film. So, I'm grateful that, people are supportive of it and that people like it. The most important thing to me is that the folks from the rodeo community get to come out, and see the movie, because it's not, Angela, she's the heart and soul of the movie, but her life is kind of like a metaphor for the West and Western history, and particularly Texas history, because her great-grandfather was a pioneer rancher, was one of the first to ranch on their Brazos in like 1850.
Wow.
And so we're able to talk about Texas history through her family lineage, and also the evolution of rodeo and all of the different cultures that came together to create rodeo.
Raen, let's talk a little bit more about your work as a filmmaker, because it sounds like you've traveled the world and you've been recognized at film festivals around the world, the Melbourne Independent Film Festival, the Cannes International Festival, which many of us are aware of. When it comes to being a creative in this industry, I feel like a lot of filmmakers struggle with okay, I'm so passionate about this project, but I need something that's marketable, that people are going to want to go to the theater to see. So how do you marry those two? Because filmmaking, especially documentary filmmaking, I mean, it's
a passion project.
And it's a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And they're not really known for like raking in a ton of money at the box office.
No, that's true. But every now and then there is a documentary, that does well at the box office. But look, I mean, for any film to be made is a miracle, because it takes so many people. Somebody I really admire, Taylor Sheridan, he's an absolute genius. And he was talking about that the other day when they launched his new show, The Madison, that, it takes so much and it takes so many people. But I just got I got a feature that's out now. It's called Buffalo Days. And that's a totally different market, totally different process. But really, I think if you sit there and think, okay, what do I think is going to sell? then you're never going to make a film.
Yeah.
And you really gotta be led by your instinct. And it sounds cliched, but you got to be led by your heart.
You follow
too.
your heart.
That's
Because
beautiful.
you're putting everything that you have into this project. And so it's like with Angela's story. You know, I've known Angela now maybe 3 years, but it's like I feel like I've known her all my life, you know, because through the process of making this film, you're not just shooting the film, you know, you're going through the whole edit, and it's like I've known her forever.
We're looking at some of the stills from the set. It's so beautiful. One of the perks about the event this weekend that's happening tomorrow is there's going to be a Q&A session.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you're going to introduce it, and you'll be able to actually take questions in real time once
Sure.
people watch it. Talk about what a benefit that is for people who go and see this.
Well, I think that's what it's all about. It's like I said earlier, it's all about the folks connecting to the movie and coming out, and they have the opportunity to interact. And you know, to me, it's like you make a film and it's the beginning of a relationship, because it's the relationship between you as the filmmaker, whoever the subject of the film is, and the audience too. So it's kind of like we're all in it together. And you know, I'm a very community-oriented filmmaker, so that's what I enjoy to do.
Well, thank you for making this film, Raen LeVell. I'm sorry we're out of time. Did Angela like the documentary, by the way? Did she like the movie?
Yeah, she loved it.
She loved it. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. Just making sure. It's so nice to have you in studio. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
stopping
much,
by
guys.
today,
I
Raen.
appreciate you.
And we want to remind our viewers, Outriding the Devil makes its Texas premiere Saturday morning at the River Oaks Theater right there on West Gray. If you'd like to find tickets, visit our website, HoustonLife.tv. We have linked it there on the Scene on Houston Life section.
Big time. If I was a creator, I would, boom, right in there.
Good stuff.
Big opportunity.